Well, after buzzers, things are finally heating up and we are all the way here for it. But who knew it would be Kate? Plus, stick around for our set secrets and news and gossip. This is the For the People After Show, and we start now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Can't stop, won't stop, get guap. 10 white toes and them Tory flip-flops. Manicures and pedicures, I'm always tip-top. When they say I'm not hot, all these lies need to stop. Cause I'm icy, wifey, haters wanna fight me. Never been the one get RP up on a whitey. Keep my hands clean, got some haters moving straight.
I think so. Let me tell you.
My wrist ain't looking icy. Charging by the
Right?
minute, cause my time is
Start
very
getting ready in the
pricey.
morning. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's important, right? Listen, I don't even think I've ever heard it in real life. I was on Instagram and I saw Lynneisha Charles, the little boy from This Is Us. He was like rapping it, and I was like, and I think he's so cool. So,
Oh my goodness.
but that's neither here nor there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the For the People After Show. We are at season 1, episode 6. Everybody's a superhero.
Everybody, even you.
Oh, I've been a superhero. Let's be clear.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, even me. Right.
Well, I'm excited to get into it. I am Keith Andre.
And I am Tori Broussard.
I'm El Marie.
And I'm Takira Shabrae.
Okay, listen. So, this week's episode. I mean, before we get into the episode, just real quick. Tell me real quick. What did you think? Like, what comes to mind? What's your first, like, response when you think about the show?
This episode?
Yes, this episode in particular.
I like Trap Allison.
Okay. Okay.
No, it wasn't a big part, and it was just like getting ready in the morning.
El
but-
Marie has been talking about that for about 2 days now.
That's my new name. Trap Allison.
Hashtag Trap
Trap
Alley.
Allison.
I'm just going to say, okay, Kate.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
What about you, Tori?
I'm going to nod my head.
And I'm going to do the same.
Okay,
So,
okay.
without further ado, like I said, we'll get into Kate. We'll get into like some fun news and gossip. And I really want to do prediction this week. But to start, let's just kind of go through the episode. Who do you want to start with? I mean, at this point, I'm always like, I don't even know where to begin. Should we start with Trap Allison?
Yeah, I mean, it started the episode.
Yeah.
Why not?
So why
Yeah.
not?
And I also felt that it was one thing that was different was this week it was kind of hard to pinpoint like quote unquote who won the episode. You know, or like
Yes.
whose episode it was. So
Absolutely.
we saw Allison from the beginning. She found out her roommate wasn't home. And y'all know when your roommate is not home. Okay.
Turn up.
Don't hold anything back. You can do what you want. So she gave us some theme music. That's how she started her day. And she got into it.
Yeah.
She did.
She had a big case this week. And overall, I do feel that, well, let me ask it instead. Do you guys feel that Allison is changing or that we're seeing different sides of her at this point?
I think we're seeing different sides. It's kind of slow to start.
Yeah.
But like El Marie said, I really like her in this episode because she's like letting her hair down. She's kind of showing a little more, relatable side of her and not so like crystal clear. Everything has to be, I like nice things and I'm good. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I was going to say, I think she's kind of learning not necessarily who she is, but how to be who she is in her environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
Like, yeah. So, like, we'll probably get to that, but towards the end, some things that Sandra was saying to her to kind of own who you are, realize it, and then adjust to it.
Yeah.
With the people that you
Yeah.
encounter, because you are different. But just as long as you realize that and know that you will have to work out how you interact with certain people.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's the gem of it because we did get to see her notice, the way that she is and question herself. And a lot of times when you see people, whether they're from this background or that or whatever, social status, they don't tend to like question themselves and their behaviors. You sit in it and I am who I am and that's just what it's going to be. So it was nice to see her kind of go through those type of changes and emotions and then, trying to figure out who she is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I enjoyed her. I mean, I think looking at the episode as a whole, and we'll get there later, it wasn't probably like my standout, but I would have loved if we could have maybe started from this point.
Right.
Like in
Right.
this context,
Yeah.
they gave us so much to work with, and we didn't really
Yeah.
need to know
any of that other stuff.
Right. Anything that we've already seen, we would have been fine,
Yeah.
like starting from this point and taking us out of here. But here we are. So
Yeah.
so we'll take it.
Train.
Who's next?
Just very lightly, because we didn't see him a lot. Jay,
Jay,
I
I was
love
gonna
to see
say
him.
we gotta bring
I
Jay.
think
I love
that-
Jay.
I do too, but I think Jay is becoming the Kate of the defense. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and I
totally
love
fair.
that. Yeah.
I
I
love
love
that.
I can see that.
I
That's
love his
perfect.
humor. He's so perfect.
Yeah, Jay is dope. I hope, that we do get to see him used more, because I don't think that he's used enough. And I
Yeah.
do believe that he is the Kate for the defense. And if he's going to be
Yeah.
that, then y'all need to use him a lot more, because Kate gets her job.
Yeah, I feel like they're like
Every
using,
episode.
they're like storing him away for, it's like the secret weapon type of thing for some reason. I get that
Yes.
vibe.
It
so-
sounds like you
okay.
have a prediction over
I mean,
there.
I don't know.
Maybe, sort of. We'll see when we get to it. Okay, so we saw a little bit of Jay. We also saw a little bit of Jill,
Yes.
I would say. And the thing that piqued my interest with seeing her from this week is that she was talking about how she was married before. And I was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
ooh. I was like, all right, girl, let's hear
Come
it.
on.
Spit, who was he?
I know,
Tell us who
right?
it was.
Well, who was the person?
Is it
Yeah.
'Cause I
Roger
don't
or
know,
not?
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just put that in the back of my head, like, she got some
Right.
dirt that she's gonna tell us. But it was good to see her. I don't think that we saw Tina Christman. Did we see her?
No.
We didn't see her at all. We did see the judge.
Judge Burns. A little bit.
Saw him a little bit, and that's probably it for the minor, elements. Everybody else was pretty pivotal. I think next up would be probably Leonard or
Yeah.
Sandra.
We're hoping it's Leonard.
Yeah. Well, let's go to
I'm
Leonard
hoping for
because
Leonard.
we got to see Leonard be himself.
His typical
Himself.
self.
Yeah, be
Like
himself.
his typical, even, and you know what? Before he said that whole story was fake, in the back of my mind, I was like,
I knew
this
it.
whole
He's
story
lying.
is
Yeah.
fake.
Right.
Like, I'm like, really?
But that made me like him because his delivery.
Yeah.
Girl, because
Was like,
that was
yeah.
in the back of my mind.
It was in the back of mine, but I was still falling for it. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
how
with
dudes
Tori.
get
Fell
you.
for it.
Like,
Exactly.
Okay.
when they're smooth, you know
You know
I
what to
know
look
you
for.
lying, but ooh-wee.
That's one of the things
Toya.
where you have to check the credit. So you come back to it like a week later. Remember you told me, so what happened again? You got to ask the story 3 times to make sure it's the same story.
Yeah.
So something isn't like missing. But I thought he did such a good job. I mean, as an actor, I felt like that was stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always, the whole time we've said, I've been super looking forward to like seeing him in his element because he does such good work. I thought the story was real, and it just came into my head. We got to see a lot of like emotion. Everybody
Yeah.
pretty much had tears in their
Right.
eyes.
Sometimes I was
episode.
like, okay, why?
At one point or another. Before we get there, I do want to talk a little bit about Leonard and his behavior, because the whole meeting with Sandra, and it was just like,
He's starting to irk my nerves.
what are you doing? I did see someone, I think it was Reggae, who had tweeted that he wasn't handling the Kate experience, like Kate's rejection well, and so that's why he's like doing the most. But I just was
Wow.
like, what are you doing?
Right.
You're a lawyer.
So he's like, trying to have like a rebound setup or something? Because he was kind of like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like, look, I was about to say reggae. Leonard, we've seen reggae.
Right.
Leonard, we've seen this before. Like that whole, you're attractive, I'm attractive. Like, did you
Because I was like,
Yeah.
well, what are we
Right?
doing here? We're going to try to get everybody?
I thought it was annoying, like just to hear the things that he was saying. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Right.
Let's go to HR.
Yeah.
This is an HR email. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I've written an email to HR to my job this week, and so when I watched, I was just like, okay, this is inappropriate.
He had the email drafted.
Ready.
Saved. Ready
Who's
to
next?
sing.
Like I can only tolerate something. This is inappropriate.
Right. I'm ready to see Leonard's mask come off.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
stop.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, and
Yeah.
I want to talk about that in a bit. But Seth, I almost forgot about Seth. We didn't see too much of him.
Not too much.
Everybody did. He had the haters this episode.
He did.
I mean,
Did he?
he did. Okay, 2 comments. The new Anya, the new ATF agent.
Oh, right. Oh my
she
God.
was like, "Who's Seth Oliver?"
And Kate was like,
Kate was like,
never mind.
Sorry. And even Roger, he was like, no, it's too dangerous. Oh, maybe we should send Seth. I'm like, dang, the blows for Seth this week.
He can't catch a break.
Poor
I mean,
thing.
he had like a week and a half of redemption and freedom, and then it's just back to where you belong.
And then him trying to have Kate help him in his meeting.
Oh, yeah.
that blew up in his face.
And Kate was like, I think that's a good idea. You should have known. Kate is not a cosigner.
Yes.
She's
Right,
not
not
the
at all.
person
Not
that
at
you
all.
call in to go along with everything that you're going to say.
At the same time, it was like, who else was he gonna ask?
Right.
True.
Exactly.
Very much
I mean,
so.
people either forget that he even works there or they don't like him. So
Right.
No respect. I want respect for Seth. That's my second HR email. He could send one too. I think he's got a case.
you drafted for him.
Listen, I'm here for it. All right, so next on the list, I would say would have to be Sandra. And for me, I'm finding myself really annoyed with her character. Only because, when we first started this journey, my first instinct was to not like her. Like I had said, I don't know if I'm going to like her character. And then now I don't know what she's turning into. Like, she's a good friend. We see her do that every week.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I don't know where her story goes. I don't think that we've been exposed to, like, really... see who she is, and the timing. I just feel like at this point,
Right.
I don't know what else to do.
All we know is that she will not clean her office.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like
What's up with
really
that?
annoyed with that. Like, come on.
And
now
everybody
it's
letting
going to
her.
Jay's. Yeah, they are. They're absolutely letting her.
It's weird.
You know what was interesting to me? So we had this whole backstory, which, again, like you said, like enough already. Like this is the 6th episode for crying out loud. Like give us more. But she mentioned, like, we had this backstory that we speculated, like, no family, may have lost her parents, blah, blah, blah. And she mentioned that her dad made Egos for her through college. This wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
And that fell flat for me. I see, when I heard it, I knew they were trying to introduce us to something that we should hold on to, or like something to throw out there, but it didn't land
It didn't.
well for me at all. So
It didn't stick to the spirit.
it didn't.
It's like,
Not
okay.
my
Like,
spirit.
right.
Try the spirit by the spirit. That wasn't it for me. Listen, that's Bible, but
Oh my goodness.
but so all right, so let's go ahead and let's get ready to get into Kate, because there was so much fun, and she had an episode. It was a ride. It was pretty explosive. So I do want to talk about the fun that Kate had, but before we do, let's talk about the fun that you can have listening to Conversations with Maria.
Yes, a lot of fun. Want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life? For those who do, we have got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was our For the People panel who sent you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out.
Yes. Get into it.
I love Maria's like tips, like being a host who's up and coming, kind of pursuing the dream.
Yeah.
And balancing a day job, which we all have.
Okay.
It's a good mix of career lessons.
You
for
can't
that,
go
for
wrong.
this. Yeah, it's really good.
She's
I agree.
relatable. And I think that's like the biggest thing that, people like us need, and just everybody in general. If you can be relatable, I like you.
Yeah, and I think especially as a millennial, we're all like interested in our dreams and learning things, and we tend to like find mentors in our heads. And so
Yes.
Conversations with Maria is a perfect way to have like an at-home intimate mentor situation with somebody you don't know who is hugely successful. So as always, shout out to Maria Menounos.
Yeah.
But getting back into the fun. Or getting back into the drama. I don't know what y'all want to call it. Getting back into Kate.
Let's talk about Kate.
Let me just ask: Did anybody see this coming? Did anybody question it before this week's episode? Has anyone
before
ever
this
thought
episode.
like maybe or?
I'm not gonna lie, I
Kinda.
did.
Really?
I did just
Just
a
little bit.
It was like episode 2-ish, I think, for me, or 3. I was like, does she? I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. But
Okay.
then I let it go because Leonard came into the mix. I was like, oh, well, whatever.
Right.
Maybe she's just, maybe she likes both. She has no
Right.
label.
Yeah.
But it didn't surprise me. But I gotta say, I kind of liked it.
Okay.
Like, I like that because on episode 1, I said Kate is going to be the person that is completely different.
Yeah.
True.
From what we expected. And I was
True.
like, perfect. I like it.
Yeah.
Mix it up. Why
That's
not?
good.
Yeah.
It's an element that I think is interesting that I don't mind. I think that Susanna Flood did a great job of
Amazing.
playing it into
Yeah.
her character because it's something that just fell into our laps and you have to
Yeah.
realize it. I mean, they did hint at it, of course. I feel like by the time we saw her meet the other agent, it was like, oh, okay. There were hints where he was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
How is this gonna go? Like, is
Right.
this a situation? Yeah. But so I think she did a good job. But just looking at her, so what else did we see from Kate this week? I mean, of course, she played her signature role, which is to get everybody together or out of her way.
Right.
Like her
But
big
we
incest
got to
already.
hear, some of her backstory. She went to UVA.
Yeah.
She knows how to shoot a gun.
Which I honestly was not expecting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, Kate.
Right.
Like, oh, I know how to shoot.
Do your thing.
Literally multiple layers to her.
And that she didn't really have a mother.
Yes.
So she said that.
Yes.
So
I'm like,
Yeah.
we got to really get intimate with her because we learned all of those things, and then we learned, her sexuality, and we got to see her up in there kissing down. Now you had to watch the whole episode to see it.
Right.
But it was there for you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. Like I said, I don't take any issues with it. I think that it fits her character. It doesn't feel foreign. I'm interested to see what plays out with this, or
Right.
Yeah.
is this something that's other people going to know about? Like, there's the draw to me to kind of get
Yeah.
more invested into her and the show as a whole. So that's primarily why I feel like this would have been a great place to start.
Right.
Because
I
we
like
could-
episode 2. Like,
Yeah.
it has that feel.
Because there was so many elements of knowing who the characters are. And like we said earlier, I don't feel that we needed to know all that we know about them. But looking at this episode, we pretty much know the depth of who they are with
Right.
Leonard and his behavior,
Yeah.
with Sandra and Allison and their friendship. We can talk about the little bench moment, the pep talk, which was
Weird.
yeah.
thank
weird.
you. I
was
don't know if we needed that. I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't. It was this pep talk. I get the bench is their thing, and I've accepted that. But to add to this dramatic situation where they're both crying,
It didn't feel
Right.
It didn't
it
feel genuine.
didn't feel
No.
genuine.
I was really confused.
It was confusing.
It was like I blinked and I missed something.
Right.
Like, it was like
I was like,
did
oh my God,
did I
what-
just,
I was like,
Right.
What are we crying about?
I was like, did I accidentally fast forward? I was like, no, no, okay. What the heck did I?
Yeah, but we do get to see, the I guess the purity of their friendship, near the end. I like that Allison didn't come back and say she won because, Sandra was set up to be a good friend, and she's like, no, let's go out, let's just do something. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
And that is telling of a true friendship. So
Yeah.
their whatever ideology or who they are is consistent. Even Jay, except everybody that we saw who they are. And it could be because we know them, but I feel that we could have started here and had so many places to go.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
But are there any other characters that I missed? I think we're good.
Yeah. No, you hit all of
Oh,
them.
I'm like, yeah, who?
Everybody.
Yeah. Someone, I will say, someone in the chat said that they also saw Kate's bisexuality early into the show. So,
okay.
and one said Leonard feels very entitled to Kate's attention, and that they're interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens there.
Yes.
Right, because at the end you kind of see that he noticed
Allison
Kate
say.
with the other woman, and he was like,
I was gonna ask. Yeah, I think Leonard
Yeah.
knows. I think he's going to
Yeah.
know, and the type of person he is, he's going to say something about it.
Oh yeah.
And I want to
absolutely.
see.
He's gonna feel some type of way, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if it turned into anger, and if he took that anger out on someone or something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takira.
I just
Yeah.
thought simple, little playful competition. Like, oh, okay, you want a woman, but let me show you.
Those insecurities run deep.
Yeah,
They
he kinda
do.
steals her.
They
Yeah.
do. Well, listen, we'll have time and predictions to really chat about Leonard because, next episode is his.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. But I do want to, talk a little bit about our discussion points. At this point, we're at episode 6. So I did want to ask, who do you guys think, or who's your favorite rivalry? Because they all have like these little fake rivalries. You got Sandra and Leonard. She still can't win.
Yeah. Poor thing.
Yeah.
But theirs is like cutesy, aside from his inappropriate behavior.
Right.
But I like theirs a lot. I'm trying to think who else.
I love Kate and Jay.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I'm
That's
ready
my
to see.
favorite.
We need to see more of them because they haven't been.
He's
we haven't
like-
been together.
They don't have a lot of interaction, but he is not letting it go.
He's not. That's why I love it.
Yeah, he's definitely making it a thing.
Yes.
I don't think anybody else is really rivals. I remember Seth and Leonard were for a second, but it wasn't. I don't think big enough to call it one. And then even Allison and Seth are
Yeah, they
frenemies. So theirs isn't too bad. So
I think I'm kind of just interested in seeing Sandra and Leonard's rivalry because when I first saw the preview and the first episode, I always thought it was going to be them that had a thing.
The ship.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so now I'm like, oh, they just really don't like each other.
right.
So, which could potentially still turn into
Into-
something.
I mean,
Yeah.
Which definitely good.
I'm
That
all here
energy
for.
is one way or another.
Yeah. So I think they're the most interesting.
So who knows? We shall see. Another theme that I've been meaning to talk about is, each week we kind of look at their morning routines. And, this week we got to see Allison turn up. I wanted to ask you guys, do you do anything particular in the morning? Do you listen to anything in particular or what? What's your morning kind of routine look like?
Oh.
Tori's must be a mess.
I have
because
to.
she's
I have to
falling
hear
up.
Tori's. I don't even care about mine. I mean, when you laugh and when you
Right.
break down,
Right.
Well, I do a lot in the morning.
Okay.
Well, we
Let's
got a
hear
good,
We got
couple
some
minutes.
time.
Okay, well, depending on how I feel, obviously I get up and I pray in the mornings. But I was laughing because, so I used to be a gymnast. So half the time I'm like upside down in my room, just
You just
Okay.
chilling, huh?
hand,
Okay.
Like handstands?
like handstands. Like I walk around my room on my
Oh,
hands.
okay.
You should put that on Instagram.
It was already hard enough for me to even say it right now. You want me to put it on Instagram?
Because I don't know why the image of
You know.
The Exorcist popped in my head. But no, when she got all weird and was crawling, I don't know why that popped in my
Just
head.
imagine Tori praying, but she's praying instead.
Right.
I don't mind it.
It's okay, girl. You know what? When you I can't even think of a good anecdote for that.
That's all right. That's all right. For me, I don't do too much. I mean, I like to wake up a lot earlier than necessary because I need time to get myself together. I need to walk around. I need to sit down. I don't want to feel rushed. I do like listening to music. I'm big on gospel music. I'm big on like 90s R&B. So I wouldn't have went with the trap playlist that Allison gave us. But now that I have it, I will introduce it into my mix at some point because I think there's a place for it.
Yes.
I'm going to make up a routine to that song.
Right.
Ooh,
I'm here
okay.
for it. Okay, now what about you two?
I'm kind of the same way with you. Like, it's funny because I get up earlier to give myself some time, but it's funny because then I still end up being late to a place. And it's funny because it's like, it's not because I woke up late. I just didn't get my life together.
It just took me longer than necessary. I have a friend who he wakes up in the morning at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock watching TV. I'm sitting here, I'm doing this, and always late to work. But the more time you have, the longer it takes you to get yourself.
That's true. That's true. Like if I do get up late, I can be on time because I've got to go.
Right.
But then I just take the time and I'm on my phone. I feel like I shouldn't be. I want to start a different routine now. To do something other than checking my phone right away.
Yeah.
But I'm just up, phone, and then some music, and then I start to get ready for the day.
Okay, I'll take it. Kanye West put out a tweet saying the first hour, like, don't be on your phone. Like, use your imagination. I don't have an hour to dedicate to my imagination. It's plenty of time throughout the day and in the Uber where I can
that's what
sit.
I'm saying. He made me feel bad about, like, okay, you know what? Put my phone down in the morning. Get a different routine.
Yeah.
Wait, is that literally the first thing you do? You grab your phone?
I feel like a lot of people do. I've had to not, but I feel like that is literally the very first thing that most people do. And it started, so for me, my routine, it used to be that I would grab my phone, check my email. I have like a verse of the day, so I pray as well, and that's the first thing on my phone. And so I see it, like I force myself to see it. I set a reminder at like 6 a.m. and it's there. But then I go into email, then I check Instagram, then I check text message, like, you know, all of this. And then I had to back away from that because in my mind I was like, okay, I have that reminder for the rest of the day. I should do that with other things. So if you do grab your phone, grab like something inspirational to think about. But I just do words of affirmation in the morning.
Nice.
And I do trap it up a little bit.
Okay.
It depends on what I have. Right. It depends on what I have to do that day.
Accomplish.
Right. But if I got like a long day,
what kind of strength I need.
I trap it up a little bit. But
I only trap it up when I'm like getting ready to go somewhere like fun. It's never for work.
Yeah.
Like I never.
Because my day job, I can't trap it up for work. I'll go in there wrong.
Yeah.
Like, just,
okay.
So,
I don't know.
I try to start with like Beyonce or something.
Something
Sometimes
a little
I have
lighter.
like a Kirk Franklin playlist going on. Like I have to set the mood for my day with my music. Yeah, the trap will.
For sure. But I think, you know, morning routines are a thing for everybody. I really was glad to see, you know, Sandra's and that or Allison's, and that we're getting to see like
a little bit more.
The way they exist in the world, because it does make them relatable and three-dimensional. So we'll see. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing what Jay does or listens or even listens to.
Right.
To be like classical music or something.
We should tweet him and see, you know, if we can get the dirt.
What are you doing?
What exactly does he do?
Look, there's a few people in chat right now, so there's a good 6 of you guys. So what do y'all do?
Okay, let's know.
We're interesting. But
We
anyway.
do want to know. All right, and then so last thing, and then we'll move on in just a minute and get into a couple of pieces of news and gossip. But I do want to ask, because, you know, looking at the arc of the show and where we are now, we've been talking about Shondaland, and we're still trying to get to season 2. How are things lining up? Because I know this episode, or I'll speak for myself, for me, it was more work than, you know, was required to get through it. There definitely was a bunch of highlights and standouts, but you think by episode 6, we'd be in a pretty good groove where there's enough, like, interest to really want to kind of see what's coming next. So I just wanted to check in with you guys to see how you think the show is doing as a whole with its story from 1 to 6. We still got to get to 10.
This is tough because I feel like if I would have blinked, I would have fell asleep. And then I would have woken up like, what just happened at the end?
Right.
So I think for some reason they're holding back.
Yeah.
We don't have time to hold back anymore. Like, you're not promised us another season.
Yeah.
So we need to come with a quickness on these things now.
Let's
People,
get there.
Say they can move a little bit faster with the storyline.
Yeah, people don't watch TV like they used to, and so it's either binge or go. So I feel like,
Which is interesting that in 2018, with the way that we do view television, that they would, you know, set the show up this way. Because it's all, you know, it's done. It's not like they're going to work every week and pushing out content. That, you know, this is the strategy. This is kind of what we wanted to go with.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I agree a lot with what. I'm so sorry. I just really found this episode boring. And I can't even hold back. It was boring.
Oh.
And I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that I have, you know, a lot of friends who are in law school or you know, are now, you know, studying for the bar or whatever. And they all love the show. So I'm, you know, excited that, you know, people who I guess essentially are not like TV fans, you know, like into the drama like we are, have a show that they could go to and say, you know what, yes, that is relatable to me, and
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
A good
I'm happy
outlet.
on that. Yeah, exactly.
I think they need to find their balance of that and the drama.
Yes.
Because that's
Right.
what it's kind of like.
Yes.
It's like the drama it's slow for us to get there for something to happen. Like for this episode, when the bombshell, at the end when Kate kisses the girl,
Right.
the ATF
Right.
agent. So yeah, it's like the drama they need to pick up with that. Because
Right.
for this episode, I wasn't as bored as Tori.
Right.
I was like, oh, really?
Right.
So, but because for me, I was like, I liked Alice in this episode, and then I felt like for her closing arguments, I felt like she delivered.
Yeah.
And I was kind of watching it, and I was like, see, and we all have our different opinions, but I felt like, see, I felt that from her with Steph's last time. I just
You
didn't
get
really
it.
Yeah.
Right.
feel it there.
It didn't
you know
reach
what I mean?
you.
And when she had hers, I was like, yes, close
Okay.
that.
We just switched. Because I
Yeah.
didn't feel anything from Allison.
Really?
Not
Well,
one.
It was forced.
well, the jury is still out, but the good news is that we've got 4 episodes left. So we've got some time. But so let's go ahead and get into news and gossip. I did find a few pieces that I thought were interesting.
AfterBuzz TV.
Okay, so first things first, we do want to wish a happy belated birthday to Sandra. So Britt Robertson, she celebrated her birthday yesterday, April the 18th, which is the same day as my oldest sister's birthday. Yep, so that was cool. Shout out to them. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I did kind of go through Twitter and I saw, I think everybody became, if they weren't interested, even more interested with Kate Susanna Flood. So I wanted to go through her timeline and see what was going on. But it was cool. I found a tweet that was pretty political for her. She just said, "Hey Twitter, for anyone still looking for good reading on the issue or thinking about Vonnie Curtis H, which is Judge Burns' performance in episode 5 for the people, locking up our own Crime and Punishment in Black America also won a Pulitzer this week. It's excellent." So I was like, okay, I want to check that out.
Yeah,
Shout out to her for being an ally. Also, don't forget, we've talked a little bit about the show. It's still kind of in a bit of limbo. We do want them to go to a season 2, so you can head over to usatoday.com and vote to save our shows for the people. And then last but not least, we did make mention, so we'll have a week off. I'm not sure kind of how that planned out or what they did with that. But when we come back, it'll be May the 1st. That show is all about Leonard. I can't remember the title, but his name is in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to really see where we're going to go with there. I think that this is the point that they've been holding out to really give us. And maybe it is strategic to kind of get over the hurdle, and then you have your fans even more interested in what's to come with season 2. So
Yeah, I guess.
that's it for me. That's all I could find. You wanted the dirt. That's all I got. That's all I got for you.
All right.
Okay, so now that we've got the dirt out of the way, let's go into the set secrets.
Say what?
You know it. I always love set secrets because I can never tell whether or not these are true, but we're going to get into them. Tom Verica and Celia Finkelstein, follow them on Twitter. They give out set secrets, but first one is Tom said, "We Sam won't do a second take of anything unless everyone laughs at his jokes."
Yeah,
I weirdly believe this one.
I was going to say, I
feel
could
like
see
it's
that.
true.
I could see that.
I could see it happening for
I feel
sure.
like it's true. Set secret 2. Celia said her and Tom Verica and I polished off an entire box of Twizzlers in about 3 days. Hashtag for the people. And Tom said, I think it was 3 hours. So they might have a little bit of addiction.
I love Twizzlers, so okay.
You
Yeah.
can
It's a
get
good
down.
addiction to have, yes.
When we have them on the show, we'll have to lace the studio
Right,
with
Right. Oh my
Twizzlers
gosh.
all over the place.
That'd be awesome.
Set secret 3, Celia tweeted that she is in regards to Kate's character, because someone said, does Susanna Flood have set secrets? Celia said she is the total opposite of Kate. She basically goes around set spewing obscenities and spitting into cups.
I don't believe that.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be funny?
You know,
I don't think that's true at all.
it's like
but
a wild side.
it's funny.
Whatever. And lastly, last set secret is actually a picture. Reggae tweeted, Exhibit A, presented without comment. I feel like this was so perfect for this episode. If you notice, Kate is in the background on a handstand. You might like this
Oh
too.
my God.
This would be so you.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Look at her.
And I love the picture. Seth is just chilling there like, yeah, what's
Minding
up?
my business, but okay.
And I think it was so interesting that this is the one that we picked for this because she's literally doing something that we completely didn't expect. Just like Kissing a Girl episode.
Hey.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good. Good stuff to do.
Set secrets.
Come on.
These secrets are funny.
Yes.
I know, right?
They're
Love
so
them.
I like
interesting.
really want to be on the set.
I know.
Like,
Right?
just to witness all of it.
That would be great because you think of their position. I know Tom Verica directs a lot of the episodes, so I would love to be a fly on the wall.
I know, right? I mean, I would just love to be the person that goes around tweeting the set secrets.
Right.
Like writing all this random stuff down.
Okay, I'm gonna make
anyway.
too much noise to be a fly on the wall. I'm like, okay, what are you doing?
Documenting everything.
Like, what are you doing? A headstand?
See,
You want me to try? Like, what?
I'd be like, ooh, me too. And just, go and do it.
And that would be that.
Hashtag morning routine. Tori and Kate.
We will get there, but we still have time, so let's get into our predictions. Now,
And now,
these predictions
your AfterBuzz
are for
TV
episode 7, coming on May the 1st. We know it's all about Leonard, so predictions around that episode, or, where do you think we're going to go towards the end of the season?
Breakdown.
And like, who wants to go
I'll go.
first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know where we're going towards the end of the season, but I am going to kind of stay with what I stated earlier about Leonard trying to win over Kate again. And I really do think it's about to be a competition.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll take that.
Who do you think will win the competition between him and? I'm assuming we are under the impression it will be the Anya. Is that her name?
Anya. But you
How you
know
pronounce
what?
it?
I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be Leonard. I feel like
Yeah?
he has
Okay.
some trick up his sleeve that he has not revealed yet.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'll take that. I mean, for me, I feel that next week we're going to see a lot of Leonard. I do think that he is going to want to get Kate back or figure out exactly what's going on. And I think it's natural that we see that because we still don't know, like, her sexuality. Is she a lesbian? Is she
Right.
bisexual?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it gives us something to learn still more about her. But I also think next week we have to see a loss from Leonard. We have to see, something in him has to break down and kind of begin to show us a different person or a different environment for him
I
as
was going
well.
to say, I think maybe, I'm not sure what the case is going to be, but his mom may be involved a little bit more. We did see her a little more this episode from this week. He revealed, just not really spending a lot of quality time with her, like being
Right.
around, but not really getting to be with your mom.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to spill over into next week and possibly him maybe looking for validation for whatever the case is that he's on. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of their relationship and interaction.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same ship. I think I want to and I expect to see Leonard break down, mask off.
Yes.
I don't necessarily think that it's going to have anything to do with the case, though. I think his real life is going to break down. But then it might kind of trickle down and affect his case a little bit to where he's just like, when you have a bad day and it's just
Spills
like
over.
one thing after another
Yeah.
and he's just not going to be in the right mindset. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. But the people that we're not really seeing a lot of, like Jay,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, they're keeping him as a secret weapon. Like I just feel it because he's too good of an actor, of a character,
Yeah.
to just let baby sit in the corner.
Right.
You can't let baby sit in the corner.
Right.
And fall by the
So,
wayside.
I'm waiting on that part. And this is going to be 7 out of 10?
Yeah, 7 out of 10. So,
Sandra.
by the time we come back, it's going to be full steam ahead. We'll have
Yeah.
those 3 episodes
they've
back
gotta
to
be.
back.
They have to.
I do want to just mention, because you did touch on Leonard, and I wanted to say with him and the whole monologue that he gave, I think elements of that will show themselves to be true just because of his delivery and how passionate, how sincere he was. I don't think it was all a farce. And he did mention, not having a lot of friends as a child and that type of thing. So I'm agreeing with y'all. I do want the mask to come off, and I want us to go all steam ahead.
Is anybody even interested at this point in Sandra's story?
At this point.
At this point? No.
I was putting so many things together. Like,
I don't know.
This and that, and now it's like you're taking too long. I don't think I care.
And it's like, how do we find a way to tie back into that story? We've been navigating so much to all these other pieces that we're interested, invested in. How do we get back to Sandra?
Right.
I feel like if we do hear about it, or when we do hear about it, it's something that we kind of already expected anyway, and it's going to completely fall flat. It's just like, bad childhood, parents aren't around, they got divorced and they moved to a different city, or like it has to be something so completely that to bring it back. So I agree.
We shall see. Well, I'm excited either way. We found ourselves watching the show. It's entertaining, we're interested, they do a good job of writing, so there still is the hope, and I think they have got plenty of potential and possibility to wow us in the end. And ain't nothing like a season finale.
That's true. Real quick, 131721 in the live chat said, I think this episode was boring for me because it had a lot of Allison. I don't get her. She's the weakest link to me.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Tell us how you really feel. Well, shout out to everybody in the chat who's been, giving us their comments and their feedback. We get a lot on Twitter. We got a lot in the live chat, and then we get comments on YouTube. So that's always something to look forward to.
You so much.
iTunes and all that good stuff.
Right. Don't forget, special shout out to all of our iTunes listeners. You can always feel free to give us that 5-star rating. Anything less doesn't matter. So you may as well, give us 5 because that's all that counts. You can leave a review there as well. And then, like we said, so we won't be here next week. We'll be back on May the 1st for season 1, episode 7 of For the People. That's when the episode airs. We'll be back that Thursday, the 3rd at 10 p.m. live to go through the show and see what's going on there. So until next time, you can follow me everywhere at Keith_Andre.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tori_Broussard.
And you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at ElmarieTV.
And you can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and Twitter at Takira_Shabrae. We got 3 episodes left. And the cast, you're welcome to
come on through. It's an open invitation.
Open invitation.
Y'all lawyers, defend yourselves.
Right. We need to hear these kind of things. It's ramping up to season 2. We got to do something big for season 2. And it starts on this show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Yes, it does.
All right. Well, until next time. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.